your close friends are the ones who are going to continue to visit you for months, if not, years. They'll stick by your side. They'll be with you. They'll be just a message away, and they're never going to call you crazy. They're never going to tell you to stop faking it. They're never going to tell you to, okay, the act is up, just move on with your life. How's it going, guys? Miguel here from CFS Recovery. This video is a topic that I don't dive too deep into until now, that I'm going to do in this video because I have a lot of questions about it, and this is something that we cover a lot on the Recovery Jumpstart calls, and this is going to be relationships with CFS. Now, relationships with CFS, I'm talking about family, friends, loved ones, spouses, those kind of people. CFS can be a really big hurdle for relationships. How do I know that? I've had CFS before. I've been in your shoes. I've been in your position. I know what it's like to be feeling brutal absolutely every day, and even have to explain yourself over and over again to friends or family or spouses to the point where they're looking at you like you're crazy. And sometimes you even think it yourself that you're going crazy, because when they look at you, you look physically perfectly fine for the most part. Most people look perfectly fine, even though on the inside, you could be feeling like you're on your deathbed. You can literally be feeling that way. And it's really hard for a lot of people to understand. And I didn't realize that till after I got better. When I was at my worst, there were some people who were with me the whole way and believed pretty much everything I said. And looking back now, if I was talking to myself and I was sick back in the day, I would think that everything's completely normal. I would be really confused as to why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling when I look perfectly normal and nothing is being flagged in the blood tests. The hospital says, okay, his organs are functioning fine, MRIs are fine, X-rays are fine. Maybe he's just going crazy. I would have thought that, but I've been on the other side and I know what it's like. With family, usually they support you no matter what, for the most part, because family is family. Like, they're gonna be on your side no matter what. Yes, there can be some friction with certain family members. For example, my mom and I butt heads a lot, especially when I was sick in the beginning, because she didn't really take it as seriously as everybody else. But there are other people, for example, my grandparents. I actually had to move in with them because it got to the point where I needed like 24/7 care. I needed someone to help me go to the washroom. I needed someone to bring me my food, to bring me water. That's how bad I was. So family, for the most part, they're gonna be there no matter what. When it comes to friends, you really find out who your close friends are, because your close friends are the ones who are going to continue to visit you for months, if not years. They'll stick by your side. They'll be with you. They'll be just a message away, and they're never going to call you crazy. They're never going to tell you to stop faking it. They're never going to tell you to, okay, the act is up, just move on with your life. The act is over. You can stop faking it. Luckily, I never had that experience of telling me to stop faking it. Like, I had some friends who said that, but they were more so just kidding around, and I was laughing along with them. I was like, dude, I wish I was faking this, trust me. But other friends, they'll kind of just forget about you, or they'll tell you, quit faking it, quit messing around. But nothing really bothered me that much. I think most of the issues I had was when I would always try to explain to people what was going on, and that's where a lot of the issues come with, is our desire to be understood by people like our family and our friends, when in reality, we're asking them to pretty much take a leap of faith and believe us based on what we're saying, not so much based on the science that these hospitals and these doctors are showing them on paper. Chances are our families are seeing these papers, everything's in the normal ranges, but we're telling them something differently. So it's all built on trust. And so when they see all these test results coming back, yeah, there can be times where they can question, like, is this person going crazy? Is this really happening? Because they can't see it. But at the same time, they do see you suffering all the time. So if anything, I always tell people now, if I ever won the lottery, I know exactly who I'm going to send money to. And I'm going to be sending money to those people who were by my side the entire time and never doubted me, were always there to pick me up, and I'll never forget those people. That's kind of one of the gifts that this illness brings. It's you're able to see who's really there for you, and you're able to kind of see through the smoke and all the BS and see who's just tagging along for the ride and who's really your friend, who cares for you when you're down in the trenches, when you're feeling like crap, you look like crap, you talk like crap, but they're still there by your side. To me, it was a gift and a blessing because, like I said, now I know who really has my back. So if ever they ask me for a favor, I don't have to think twice. I would drive across the city for these people, because these same people, when I was sick, they would drive across the city, pick me up, bring me to the doctors, drop me off back home. They would try to cheer me up on Christmas or New Year's, or talk on the phone when I needed someone to just listen to what I had to say. I would say that most of the stress with the relationships come when our expectations are for people to understand what we're going through. The reality is no one will understand what you're going through unless they've been in the same position you're in. Unless they've had CFS as bad as you have it right now, they're never gonna understand, no matter how much they love you. They'll be there for you, they'll care for you. When you're trying to explain to them, oh, my legs are burning, it feels like this and this, they'll listen, they'll acknowledge it, but they just won't understand it unless they've been through it themselves, because it's just so rare for someone to go through something like this. And with all the symptoms, can't describe what you're feeling. So stop trying to explain yourself to people and expecting them to understand what you're going through, because they're not going to understand it. And the truth is, it came to the point where I just told myself, I'm like, I actually don't want people to understand what I'm going through. I don't want them to know what it's like to feel like this, because this is horrible. I would not wish this on my worst enemies, that none of my family or friends ever go through something like this. But that's where a lot of stress comes from, our expectation for people to understand our situation. Now, a situation like this, it's super rare, so don't be surprised and don't be alarmed if, you start to lose friends or you grow distant from certain people. This is a time where you have to be selfish and put yourself first. It's okay to say no to hanging out or talking on the phone for hours, right? You have to look over your health first. But for the people who are there by your side, keep them close. Make sure when you do get better, you know that these people are priorities in your life, and you're going to grow closer to them than you ever would have if you never had this illness. So you create special bonds with people that never would have been created if you didn't have something like this. And I'm not just talking about a regular bond. It's, for example, my grandparents, especially my grandma, she would cook for me every single day. I lived at their house for 6 months. She would feed me every day. She would always help me get to the washroom, help me shower. She would do everything. She literally put her life on hold for 6 straight months to help me eat and basically survive and stay alive. And so for that, anytime she needs help, then I know for a fact that I'm gonna go there and make sure I help her out. But we created that special bond that I never had. And it was actually a really unique time because we were super, super close, talking every single day. And I feel like you can't get that kind of bond anywhere. So for people who are your caretakers or people who are along with you on this journey, you form a special bond with them that you can't really get anywhere else, because you guys are in the trenches. You guys will be hopefully together when you are out of the hole. And like I said, some people won't understand and they'll leave. Could be husband, a wife. Very few times it's family. A lot of times you'll lose a lot of friends. And when you do lose people, especially if it's like a spouse, because I know some people, they have had spouses leave because they just couldn't take it anymore. There's just too much to care for. There was too much work. And that just shows you that, yeah, this wasn't the right person for you. Because yes, it is hard to take care of someone who's going through something like this, but what happens 20 years from now, 30 years, 40 years down the road, and you get some serious illness or something really bad happens? Well, they would have walked anyways. They wouldn't have been there anyways. You just kind of got that situation out of the way early on, something that would have happened at some point down the road. I was very lucky because I had my amazing girlfriend there with me the whole time. She would bus, a couple hours a week just to come see me. She wasn't driving at the time, and we wouldn't do anything. We would just stay there lying in the bed. She'd help feed me sometimes, and we'd talk about all the amazing things that we get to do in the future. And now it's exciting because we're constantly talking about these things, how we want to go to Bali, we want to go to Hawaii, Mexico, and we actually went to Mexico a few times. Since getting out of the hospital and improving and getting better, we've been able to travel to a good amount of places. So all those visions we talked about are coming to life, and we're able to share those special moments. So if anything, it brought us closer together. And if she wasn't the right person, she would have left me at the time. And yes, it would have been devastating. That means if I ever got sick down the road, then she wouldn't have been there, but she was there. So That's how I know she's, the right person. That's how I know the people who stuck around are the right people in my life and they would have my back no matter what. So that's what I wanted to share about relationships. Essentially, take the stress off for yourself. A lot of the stress is coming from your need for people to understand you. So just remember that you don't have to explain yourself in depth all the time and get people to understand, because chances are they won't understand. Like 99% chance they won't understand unless they've been through something like this before. If you can even just solve that thing right there, it's going to help you a ton, because as the expectations are lowered for people to understand your situation, then the stress also starts to go down, which means, and lower stress equals faster recovery, better recovery, and lower stress equals more healing for your body. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you got value out of this, make sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below. Ask me any questions. I literally read every single comment that you guys put down, so I am reading everything. Make sure to join our private Facebook group, our community of thrivers, where it's a lot more positive than a lot of forums out there that don't really share hope or tell you that you're gonna be sick forever. No, not true. You can definitely recover from something like this. Our Facebook group is a more positive community that gives you hope, gives you inspiration. It's all content that's geared to keeping you on track, keeping you moving in the right direction. Every now and then I do some live Q&A calls in there as well. And just remember, you are just one mind shift away from living a life with thriving health. I'll see you in the next video.